Hey everyone, it's Reed. Today we're going to talk about martial law. And I got on this subject because I was watching another video from another guy, does prepping and stuff like that, and this video popped up in my recommendations when I was browsing through stuff. I was like, hey, let's take a look here. And watched the video, looked at it and everything like that, and said, yeah, you know what? I disagree. I do not agree with your conclusions, and I got some reasons why. Now, if you're wondering which video I'm talking about, so you can go take a look and all that stuff, it'll be in the description and a link up here. I'm not going to do name dropping because it's like people trying to ride other people's coattails and he's a bigger channel than me. But I want to say why I think it is wrong conclusions. Now, his conclusion basically was it can't happen. It's just not going to happen here. They ain't going to follow the orders and all that. Well, see, me and 2020 disagree. Now, the governors themselves can't suddenly decide, we're going to declare martial law. You come out, we're shooting you. They can't really do that. That in itself is an illegal order and a little bit frowned upon. Now, yes, a governor that is going to be a complete tyrant and a total jerk could decide to issue those orders. Question then becomes, will the state police follow them, or the regular police? Will mayors and other groups follow along with them? Will the National Guard go along with this? There are a lot of variables in that. We're going to put that aside for a minute, okay? So let's say all the other stuff happens, like we're invaded by a foreign power. We have them on the U.S. shores, marching in, taking over cities and all that stuff. They can declare martial law. Yes, we had that happen after Pearl Harbor, and it was done. So very, very possible there. I mean, the other thing is, what if we had a horrible, hideous illness that was super deadly and utterly terrifying, like airborne Ebola with a mix of rabies? Yeah, that sounds terrifying enough. Let's say that's out there instead of what they're fighting this year in 2020. And they decide, oh my gosh, this is beyond horrific. We have to shut this down now. And so they decide martial law is now in effect. And they go for it. Yeah, given certain things, precondition law, they could declare it. Now the thing is, we declare martial law. And what's the one thing we learned very effectively about 2020? Well, the cops and police and all that, they see a lot of the orders that came through because they're laws on the books, and until a court actually says, this is illegal, you can't do this, the cops are going to see that as lawful orders. Now, the thing is, after talking to my friend Steve, who was a cop and dealt with a lot of stuff, he was on the federal side, and I have other friends who were cops and stuff like that, they explained a lot of things about how much the cops have very little discretion in a lot of ways when direct orders that are deemed lawful are issued to them. They say, no, I ain't doing that. Good chance you're fired. Or worst case, you're rotting in a cell. Now, the thing is, these people or stuff like that, they're going to be going, hey, I got families to feed. I got stuff to do that. We're not out there shooting people under most cases. Yes, if things escalate, people resist, people argue with like that, things could escalate, shootings could happen. But it's not a direct order to say, go out to these people's homes, drag them into the street, and shoot them in the back of the head. It's not that kind of order, all right? Now, this is the kind of order saying we gotta, for the safety of everyone, shut things down. Well, 2020 told us, yeah, police and all that are gonna follow that order. They see it as lawful. What else do we know? Well, people will eat up the fear. Look how much fear everyone ate up around everything that happened in 2020. And people were just swallowing that fear down whole, man. It was bad. And the worst part was they were just terrified. So when they heard, we can do this to make you safe, they didn't care that Benjamin Franklin warned them about it. Those who give up essential liberty for a little bit of temporary safety deserve neither. They were like, no, please, make me safe. I need safety. Yeah, the population as a whole will be like, yes, let's sign up for martial law and keep me safe. Yeah, they totally will go for it. And also, as we saw, they will happily dime you out and narc you out. They see you out doing stuff. They see you having with friends. Maybe you're making plans. Maybe you don't like what's going on. Yeah, they're going to pick up the phone. Hello, FBI? Yeah, exactly. They'll be calling in real quick. So it's not just that the orders came down, you don't like it, you deem it unconstitutional, you think it's illegal and everything else like that. Till a judge gets involved, they're going to say, yeah, police and all that, lawful order. We're not out there doing anything hard lines, like killing people, hurting puppies and kittens. Yeah, they'll say, good, we're going to go along with this for now. It's like that. Population as a whole, they'll be wanting the safety and sign up for it. And until the courts step in, it's good to go. And the thing is, the percentage of people that are actually willing to fight back and say, this is tyranny, we ain't going any further on this, is small. Very small. And unfortunately, yes, that depresses the holy crap out of me. I would love to see a bit more fight in American people. People willing to say, you know, this is America, we don't tolerate this kind of crap here. But 2020 has taught me that my expectations of that were immensely overestimated. Don't even get me started on that. We'll go on that rant later. But anyways, let's say tyranny develops. Now, for everyone out there who doesn't understand what I mean by tyranny, I'm going to say Nazis. Yeah, we're going to go there. Nazis. Now, one of the interesting arguments I hear from people is say, you know what? If that happened on American shores, we will totally resist. We'll fight back. We'll stop them. It won't even come close to developing here. They're wrong. They are immensely wrong. See, one of the things that a lot of people love to believe, they hear the stories of Nazi Germany. They hear the stories of everything that happened back then. They believe that they're going to be out there hiding Anne Frank, smuggling out people like Schindler's List. They're going to be working hard and stopping it. Well, probably not. Look at this. No. See, the chances of you being one of those people resisting, fighting back, and stopping it, statistical minority. In fact, almost a complete fluke. Because that is going against the grain. That is people standing up and saying, no, we're going to put ourselves at risk of dying the most egregious death there is, and our family and our kids. There are very, very few people willing to do that. Most people will say, sure, take everything from me. Just give me my life and protect my family. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Now, the other thing is you hear people say, well, there was Germany was something wrong with the place. It was actually the most enlightened, most educated, most creative country in the world at the time. I mean, look at all the stuff that came out of there. Literally, the space race was the German scientists we got out of the end of World War II versus the Russian German scientists they got out of World War II. Yeah, I mean, all those advancements, all the stuff were immensely from German scientists. The nuclear bomb was a large part of German scientific engineering. There's a nifty thing on one of the History channels or Discovery channels like that, talking about the flying wing that the Nazi government was building. And it's still classified top secret today, but they actually showed it off. But they didn't let people do too much with it, but they showed it. It was built out of wood and everything else, and it was probably going to be a stealth fighter or bomber that they could have used to penetrate it in on Britain's radar systems. It's pretty wild. It was at the end of the war, they didn't get it finished, but they got some test flights. Yeah, so it wasn't that. Okay, now there's a really good book for everyone out there that you really need to read. It's called Ordinary Men by Browning, okay? I'll dig up the link and put it down here for you to click on off of Amazon. And I think they still sell it, and I think it's a paperback. If not, there's at least got to be used copies out of there. And it talks about Polish police that were put into service working for the Nazis after Poland was overrun. And they went from being normal, good police to being, the kind of people that would drag people out naked into the middle of a field and shoot them in the back of a head. Yeah, nasty people, right? But they weren't that in the beginning. See, that's the thing. Tyranny is insidious. And once it starts going in, there's a conversion. They start pushing. It's not like the Nazis rose up and said, this is what we're doing. Here's our grand plan. We're going to kill all these people. We're going to start all these wars. We're going to do this. No, that came later and incrementally. And so this book, Ordinary Men, which is horrifying and brutal in a way, shows how regular people. We're pushed to become the most horrific monsters out there. Yes, let that sink in. So you out there, viewer, all the people watching this video, the tyranny comes in. Martial law is enacted. Everyone's out there scared from whatever it is. And then people find out that incrementally changes happen. People are pushed. People are having threats against them, their family. The people that aren't them are the ones first targeted. Other groups targeted. Just like the old saying, and then when they came for you, there was no one left. Problem is, you probably went down the road willingly because you were trading liberty, freedom, and the American fundamentals for safety and protection for your family. That is the biggest weapon tyrants and the most evil people out there use. We got to do this for the greater good. The greater good is actually a siren song that leads to immense evils. I know people are going to argue with that, but it always does. Horrific, hideous, massive, horrific, unbelievable evil lies down when you are arguing for the greater good. When people are arguing that they're more righteous and better than others, that what they're doing, their motives, their plans, their actions are righteous. It's not. It's a siren song for immense evil. It takes good people and turns them into the most hideous monsters out there. When you read about those horrors the Nazis did, all those bad, hideous, unbelievable things, realize it wasn't that the whole place was bad. People were twisted and converted into this. They were told, if you don't do this, you lose your family, your mother, your father, your kids, your wife, your other spouse. I mean, anything that you love and cherish will be killed and tortured. Do this. Protect your family. Then you start arguing with yourself saying, I gotta save my family. I gotta protect them. What I'm doing is good. I gotta steel my soul and handle this. And what's interesting in that book, Ordinary Men, as they were going through this transformation, it was so hideous and horrible to them, they were physically ill. Manifestations physically of how bad it was on their psyche. And then once they got consumed alive, they embraced it. Think about that. So you get martial law coming down. And, we may not have a ton of, soldiers. We don't have a ton of police, National Guard, feds, all those people out there to control the entire population. 2020 has taught me more than anything else that the recipe to bring about our own unbelievable horrors upon the shore in America is out there. The recipe is sell fear. Get people afraid, and they will trade away their essential liberty guaranteed to us by the American Constitution. They will give it away because they want to feel safe. People out there that want to be those tyrants, and there's a lot of them in government just from the rhetoric we're seeing going on right now. They took notice. They took immense notice of this, and they could see how they can gain massive power. Remember this. Okay? This is the fight we are going to face. We're going to have to be so vigilant. And we're going to have to get people. We're going to have to talk to people, educate people, and show them how important it is that the American ideas of individual liberty and freedom is more valuable than the greater good and society as a whole. Okay? Yes, that sounds crazy to some of you out there, but it is. Individual liberty and the individual is more valuable than society and the greater good. Okay? We have to get them to understand this, because otherwise it becomes the tyranny of whatever the majority wants. They can tell you and dictate anything to you. You have to live this way. You have to worship this way. Think about that. Okay? So as you see these things going on, recognize we may hear about further lockdowns. We may hear about we have to impose stricter controls because this is so dangerous. It's for your safety. And then you're going to know it's upon us. and you want to become one of that small fraction that's going to fight and be remembered correctly in history. You don't want to be one of those people carrying out the monstrosities. So there's my rant, and I ended up in it. Yep. But I have a lot of passion about this, guys. Read that book and understand that what happened in Nazi Germany is not unique. That the monsters lurk in all of us, and we have to fight. And that siren song of righteousness, I'm good, the greater good, will bring about unimaginable horror and evil. So take care, everyone. This is Reed, out for now.